aging rock fan here. Seriously, as you know, if you follow this channel, I'm now mostly into classical music, but I will pick up an occasional rock album if deemed necessary. This certainly was necessary because I came across this at Savers for a whole buck. An original, looks like to be an original copy, maybe a repress because it's manufactured by Columbia House under license. Highway to Hell by AC/DC. One of my college buddies had this album pinned up on his college bedroom. Used to play it constantly. Well, practically mint condition for a buck. No brainer. I have been wanting to get a copy of this. Certainly a great song, certainly great songs on the album. But yeah, Bon Scott, the whole original gang right there. That iconic cover, you can't beat that. You just can't do it. We also found a copy of Back in Black, which is also a Columbia House release. I have the remastered version, but it was kind of cool to find this out in the wild for a buck. And finally, we've got U2's Rattle and Hum. 2-disc set. Island Records. I'm guessing this is from the soundtrack. Another one of my college buddies told me one time he didn't even like U2, but he wanted to see the film. And I'll never forget him saying that, just because he loved rock documentaries. So, if you find some U2 on vinyl out in the wild, you're doing pretty damn good. I've got a few other ones. Can't say I'm a big fan. They have some good stuff. Some of their stuff is just sellout crap, but this is probably during their prime, during their peak. But let's get to the main topic here, and that's these guys. What are you saying? Realistic speakers. You follow this channel, you know that I absolutely hate the Minimus 7's. I hate the hype behind them. I hate people saying they're the greatest speakers that were ever built. I hate the cult following that they have. It's just out of control. Because they ain't that good. Well, I figured I'd give their slightly bigger brother a try. And I'm glad I did, because I paid $1.25 for the pair at Goodwill. Before I do the unveiling of this grill cover, I know there's people chomping at the bit online who are saying, you gotta replace the capacitors in the crossover, or you have to replace the woofer surround. We're not gonna do any of that. Nothing. Not a thing. Because it does not need it. And one capacitor to change in the crossover would probably cost 5 or 6 times as much as what I paid for this pair. There you have it. So you ask, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna touch up and refinish the cabinets. Genuine walnut veneer, none of that vinyl crap. And we're gonna use some Originally, I was going to go with Danish oil, but it was too expensive. So I went with good old standby Howard's Restore Finish Walnut, and then some rejuvenating oil made by the same company that makes Danish oil, Watgo. Because this wood is dry as anything. It is like an arid desert. Then, once that stuff dries, we're going to put these anti-skid pads on the bottom, just to give it some isolation. I picked those 3 items up at Home Depot for like 20 bucks for the total. I'll show you this one. Well, actually, hold that thought. Hold that thought. I forgot to show you my 4-buck receiver, and that is this Yamaha Natural Sound stereo receiver, the RXV 390 from probably the mid-90s. I've been playing those speakers on this receiver and it sounds so damn good. It's slightly bassy, but it's got a lot of punch, 60 watts per channel, has a true phono stage, and the phono stage sounds great. I'm running my direct drive linear tracking Kenwood KD67F into it. It sounds so ballsy, so good. And I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, well, it's only 60 watts per channel. Come on. It is a clean, punchy 60 watts per channel with headroom to burn. It has got headroom to burn. Powered right up. Relays click. Did everything it was supposed to do. All I did on this thing was a good cleanup. But here's the other Minimus 25. You can see some holes in the grill cloth. Maybe someday I'll recloth them. Of course, Joann's Fabric is out of business, so not even an option. But you see, there's the drivers. No foam rot, none of that bullshit. They look great, and they sound even better. They sound way better than the Minimus 7's. They got a lot more bass, they're clearer, they're more detailed. You know, it sounds ridiculous talking about Radio Shack realistic speakers as being punchy and with detail, but these have it. And for $1.25, tell me I went wrong. I'm going to put a few coats on these cabinets. We'll take a look. With Howard's, they tell you on the bottle not to put it directly on the wood. Honestly, I think that's only if you're working with new wood. And I don't think it's going to kill it, but I put it right on the wood. And I'm going to let it dry for a little bit and then probably put a second or a third coat of this stuff on there. I like the way that it kind of makes a lot of the imperfections go away. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to look a hell of a lot better than it did. And I usually go with a darker, like I probably could have gone with a medium or a dark walnut, but I like that this stuff brings out kind of the blonde walnut on these cabinets. I mean, look guys, we're talking $150 speakers. We're not talking high end at all. So I think it's going to make a big improvement, but we'll do a coat or two more and check them out. 2 coats, and I really like how this is coming out. It reminds me very much of the KLH Model 6's that I did a number of years ago. The walnut is slightly lighter than that, but you know, it really, like I said, it gives it a lot of character, and that's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking to make these things look like brand new. I'm sure there's guys who have refinished them and put all new veneer on it. We're not doing that. We're not going that far. But when all is said and done, these little speakers are going to look a heck of a lot better. And they'll certainly look more than the $150 that I paid for the pair. So let's forge ahead. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit and then decide if I want to do a 3rd coat or not. These came out really nice. I did put a 3rd coat of Restore Finish on, let it soak in for a while, and then I did a coat of Rejuvenating oil. I'm only going to do 1 coat of Rejuvenating oil. Stuff is slippery, and I think it's going to keep the walnut lubricated up for a while. Gives it a slightly like a wet look. But they came out great. I'm going to let them dry, and then we'll put the rubber feet on the bottom. Call this a project. If anyone has solutions without spending an arm and a leg for reclothing or patching up these grill cloths, let me know, because like I mentioned earlier, Joann's Fabrics is out of business, and I don't want to buy crap off of Amazon. If there's a easy local solution that I can use for the cloths, would love to know, would love to find out. So we'll let this dry, finish it up. Really happy with how these came out. Just so you don't get your panties up in a bunch, I dried up each corner with some paper towel. I know people will be saying, oh, you shouldn't put rubber feet on there without drying up the wood. Well, I know how the internet works, and the trolls would jump on me, so that's all taken care of. Sorry. But the feet went on perfect. Another thing I did, and this is something my dad would have done, is I touched up the realistic name badges, and I did so with this. This is a Sharpie metallic paint, medium paint pen. I believe this is oil-based, so not a marker, it's metallic paint. And they came out really nice, so much so that I may do this for my pairs of Minimus 7's. I know the black ones, the name badges have faded quite a bit, or scratched off, but touching them up this way, they came out really decent. So we're going to put this at the listening post, see how they sound.
Will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-tests and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 617-793-5000. That's 617-793-5000. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Sponsored by Moderna.
mNEXSpike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's mnexspike.com.
Broadcasting from the WEEI studios. Powered by Verizon. 93.7 WEEI FM and HD1, Lawrence, Boston. An Odyssey sports station.
2 teams that are just on my radar that could take Kansas City out. Yes, Indianapolis is certainly one of them. I think the New England...
Has this world changed or what? We live in a land of zombies. I blame COVID, I blame social media, I blame mental illness, I blame the government for doing nothing about mental illness. And as far as that goes, that's not a Democrat or Republican thing, that's all the above. So all these things have combined to create a complete mess. But I'll give you some advice. Find a hobby. Find something you're passionate about. If it's this hi-fi stuff, great. If not, if it's photography, if it's genealogy, something to keep your mind sharp and active and engaged. That's what you need. I love these little speakers, and it kind of makes me despise the Minimus 7's even more. I think these are the best $1.50 speakers on the planet. I'll go out on a limb there. They owe me nothing, and they sound fantastic. Paired with this little Yamaha receiver, it is a dynamite setup. Don't worry, my Harman Kardon is still my pride and joy, the AVR 146. And it's still seeing daily use. But right now, this little guy and those realistic speakers, I'm loving it. Hope you enjoyed my little video. Maybe you got something from it. Take care for now.